You did everything right. You read the labels, you asked your pediatrician, you picked the formula with brain building on the box and gentle on the label. You trusted the brand the hospital sent home with your baby. And every single bottle you made might be laced with arsenic, lead, and cadmium. I know, because I did the same thing. I stood in that kitchen at 2 a.m., shaking a bottle of what I thought was the safest option on the shelf. When I finally saw the lab reports, I wanted to throw up. Up to 80% of infant formulas tested in the UIS contained detectable arsenic. Some had lead levels higher than what's legally allowed in bottled water. And the companies making them? They knew. They had the test results. They just never showed you. Today I'm naming 9 infant formulas you need to stop buying. I'll show you the data, the recalls, the ingredients they're hiding behind words like gentle and sensitive. Then I'll give you 4 formulas that are actually clean. And the worst one on this list? It's the one your doctor probably prescribed. Stay with me. Your baby needs you to hear this. Let's start with Similac Pro Advance, the #1 formula recommended by hospitals in America. That alone makes parents feel safe. If the hospital trusts it, you should too, right? Here's what the hospital didn't tell you. When the Clean Label Project tested 86 formulas across 22 brands, Similac Pro Advance came back with elevated levels of arsenic and cadmium. But that's not even the worst part. In 2022, the FDA shut down Abbott's manufacturing facility in Sturgis, Michigan. They found Chronobacter sakazaki, a bacteria that causes meningitis and sepsis in infants. 2 babies died. 2. And on top of all that, the first carbohydrate in this formula isn't lactose, it's corn syrup solids, the #1 hospital-recommended formula in the country, and they're sweetening it with corn syrup. This one was in my house. I bought it the day we came home from the hospital because the nurse put it in our discharge bag. When I saw these numbers, my stomach dropped. If you have a can of this sitting on your counter right now, I get it. I did too. You didn't know. Now you do. Avoid this one. This next one surprised me. Enfamil NeuroPro. It's got brain building right on the label. MFGM and DHA. Sounds like science. Sounds like they care about your baby's development. But when the Clean Label Project actually tested it, Enfamil NeuroPro scored 1 out of 5 stars for industrial contaminants. 1. Detectable lead, detectable cadmium. And here's what makes that worse. The CDC says there is no safe level of lead exposure for children. None. 0. Even low-level chronic exposure is linked to IQ drops of 2 to 5 points. That's not nothing. That's your child's potential being quietly shaved away, bottle by bottle. And they also put palm oil in this formula. A study in the Journal of Pediatric Gastroenterology and Nutrition found that palm oil in formula reduces fat absorption by 17% and significantly reduces calcium absorption. So while the box says brain building, the ingredients say something different. Your baby gets lead, less calcium, and less fat absorption. I'd skip it. Not worth the gamble. Now, Gerber. You hear that name and you think baby food. You think safety. You think a company that's been feeding babies for almost 100 years. Gerber Good Start Gentle Pro leans hard into that trust. The word gentle is doing a lot of work on that label. But the Clean Label Project found above-average levels of arsenic in Gerber's formula products, the healthy babies. Bright Futures report in 2019 flagged Gerber across multiple concerning categories. And here's something most parents miss. The carbohydrate in this formula isn't just lactose, it's corn maltodextrin. That's a processed starch that spikes blood sugar fast. Then there's the probiotic claim. Gerber markets this formula as having a special probiotic for digestive health. Sounds great. Except the FDA hasn't validated those specific health claims for infants. The strain, the dose, the actual benefit, none of it has been confirmed to do what the label implies. They're selling you a feeling, a word on a box. Meanwhile, chronic arsenic exposure in infants is linked to immune suppression and long-term cancer risk. Leave it on the shelf. Here's one that's going to sting. Parents' Choice Advantage, Walmart's store brand. And I bring this one up carefully because I know why parents buy it. It's affordable. When you're stretching every dollar and your baby needs formula, you grab what you can. No judgment, none. But here's the problem. The Clean Label Project found that some store-brand formulas had the highest levels of heavy metals among all formulas tested. The 2021 congressional report flagged the lack of internal testing standards at some of these manufacturers. And like so many others on this list, the primary carbohydrate is corn syrup solids, not lactose. What makes this one hit harder is the math. Formula-fed babies get 100% of their nutrition from formula, every calorie, every nutrient, every contaminant. There's no dilution, there's no break. And families on tighter budgets are the ones absorbing the most risk, because they can't switch to a $36 premium can. That's not a parenting failure, that's a system failure. And it makes me angry, but I still have to say it. If you can find an alternative, even a store brand with lactose listed first instead of corn syrup solids, make the switch. Okay, now we're here. The worst one on this list. And I told you at the beginning, it's the one your doctor probably prescribed. Similac Alimentum. This is a hypoallergenic formula. Babies with milk protein allergies, colic, severe reflux. Their pediatricians prescribe this. Parents don't choose it off a shelf. A doctor hands it to them and says, "This is what your baby needs." So you trust it completely. You don't even question it. Why would you? Your doctor said so. Here's what your doctor probably didn't look at. The second ingredient in Similac Alimentum is sucrose, table sugar. This is one of the sweetest formulas on the American market. The American Academy of Pediatrics has specifically expressed concern about sucrose in infant formula. It's linked to early sugar preference, obesity risk, and dental problems. And the first carbohydrate? Corn maltodextrin. So your baby with a compromised gut, a sensitive immune system, a baby who is already struggling is getting sugar and corn-based fillers as their primary nutrition. On top of that, Alimentum was part of the 2022 Abbott recall. Same Sturgis facility, same Chronobacter contamination, same 2 infant deaths under investigation. The babies on this formula are the most vulnerable, and this is what we're giving them. This one makes me angry, not just avoid. This one should be pulled from the market. If this is helping, hit like and subscribe. I spend weeks going through lab reports, ingredient labels, and congressional hearings, so you don't have to. And we're not done. There are still 4 more formulas to cover, and some of them are hiding in your pantry right now. Okay, now we're here, the worst one on this list. And I told you at the beginning, it's the one your doctor probably prescribed. Similac Alimentum. This is a hypoallergenic formula. Babies with milk protein allergies, colic, severe reflux, their pediatricians prescribe this. Parents don't choose it off a shelf. A doctor hands it to them and says, "This is what your baby needs." So you trust it completely. You don't even question it. Why would you? Your doctor said so. Here's what your doctor probably didn't look at. The second ingredient in Similac Alimentum is sucrose, table sugar. This is one of the sweetest formulas on the American market. The American Academy of Pediatrics has specifically expressed concern about sucrose in infant formula. It's linked to early sugar preference, obesity risk, and dental problems. And the first carbohydrate? Corn maltodextrin. So your baby with a compromised gut, a sensitive immune system, a baby who is already struggling, is getting sugar and corn-based fillers as their primary nutrition. On top of that, Alimentum was part of the 2022 Abbott recall, same Sturgis facility. Same Chronobacter contamination, same 2 infant deaths under investigation. The babies on this formula are the most vulnerable, the ones with allergies, the ones with colic so bad their parents haven't slept in weeks, the ones whose little bodies are already fighting. And this is what we're giving them: sugar, cornstarch, and a contamination history. This one doesn't just get an avoid. This one should be pulled from the market. It makes me angry, and honestly, it should make you angry too. If this is helping, hit like and subscribe. I spend weeks going through lab reports, ingredient labels, and congressional hearings, so you don't have to. And we're not done. There are still 4 more formulas to cover, and some of them are hiding in your pantry right now. This one made me personally frustrated. Enfamil Reguline. It's marketed to parents whose babies are constipated. And if you've ever watched your baby strain and cry, you know you'd try anything. That's exactly what they're counting on. Here's the cruel irony. Enfamil Reguline contains palm olein oil. That's the same fat that research shows causes harder stools in infants. A study in the Journal of Pediatric Gastroenterology and Nutrition found palm oil reduces fat absorption by 17% and significantly lowers calcium absorption. So the formula marketed to fix your baby's digestion contains an ingredient that makes digestion worse. On top of that, you've got corn syrup solids and polydextrose, a synthetic fiber, not a natural one, a lab-made one. And the Clean Label Project flagged it for industrial contaminants. So you're paying extra for a formula that may be causing the very problem it promises to solve, while also exposing your baby to heavy metals. Not worth the risk. Ready for the next one. Pediasure Grow and Gain. Now technically, this one's for toddlers, but I'm including it because so many parents transition straight from formula to Pediasure. Your pediatrician might even recommend it for a picky eater or an underweight toddler. Sounds responsible, sounds medical. Here's what it actually is. 12 grams of added sugar per serving. That's 3 teaspoons per serving. To put that in perspective, that's more sugar than some candy bars. The World Health Organization says children under 2 should have 0 added sugar, 0. And the first 2 carbohydrate sources, corn syrup solids and sugar. You're not giving your toddler nutrition, you're giving them a milkshake with vitamins. The flavored versions also contain artificial flavors. This creates sugar dependency at exactly the age when taste preferences are being wired into your child's brain. Parents think they're helping a picky eater. They're building a sugar habit. Leave it on the shelf. I almost didn't include this next one. Then I saw what's in it. Enfamil A.R. This is the reflux formula. If your baby spits up constantly, your doctor might suggest it. It's thickened so it stays down. Sounds smart. Here's the catch. It's thickened with rice starch, and rice is the #1 source of arsenic among all grains. The 2021 congressional report specifically flagged rice-based ingredients in baby products. They found up to 91 parts per billion of inorganic arsenic. The FDA proposed an action level of 100 parts per billion for rice cereal, and still hasn't finalized rules for formula. So there's no enforceable limit. Inorganic arsenic is a Group 1 carcinogen. That's the same classification as cigarettes. And your reflux baby is drinking this multiple times a day, every day. During the most vulnerable window of brain development, add in corn syrup solids and palm oil, and you've got a formula that reads like a list of everything you'd want to avoid. This one's a no. Okay, last one. And honestly, this one might be the most insulting. Similac 360 Total Care Sensitive. It's Abbott's newest formula line. Sleek packaging, modern marketing, 360 Total Care. Sounds like it covers everything. Sensitive makes you think it's gentler. Premium price tag to match. You'd assume with a name like that, with the price they're charging, you're getting the best. You're not. The first carbohydrate listed on the label is corn syrup solids, not lactose, corn syrup solids. In their premium, most expensive formula. And this is still Abbott, same company, same trust deficit from the 2022 recall. The Clean Label Project has never given Similac products high marks for contaminant levels. And here's what the AAP says. True lactose intolerance in infants is extremely rare. Most babies labeled sensitive don't need a lactose-reduced formula at all. So you're paying more for corn syrup your baby probably doesn't need from a company that still hasn't fully earned back your trust. My verdict, avoid. That's 9 formulas, 9 brands that millions of parents trust right now. If you're feeling overwhelmed, I hear you. But stay with me, because what comes next changes everything. Okay? Deep breath. That was 9 formulas, 9 brands sitting in nurseries across America right now. If you're angry, good. Hold on to that. If you're feeling guilty about any of these, stop. Right now. You didn't know. The labels didn't tell you. Your doctor didn't tell you. The companies sure as hell didn't tell you. But you're here now. And that changes everything. Because safe options do exist. Let me show you what to buy instead. Now here's one you can actually trust. By Heart Whole Nutrition Infant Formula. This company does something almost no one else does. They publish their heavy metal test results. Publicly, you can look them up. Every batch, tested independently, and the ingredients back it up. Whole milk as the fat source. Not skim milk with a bunch of oils added back in. Organic lactose as the only carbohydrate. No corn syrup solids. No palm oil. No maltodextrin, None of it. Made in a dedicated facility right here in the U.S. Now, it's not cheap. About $36 a can. But you're paying for transparency. You're paying for a company that actually lets you see what's inside. And after everything we just went through, that's worth something. This one's safe. This one does it right. Bobby Organic Infant Formula. And here's why I trust them. Bobby was founded by a mom who couldn't find a clean formula in the U.S., so she looked at Europe. EU formula standards are stricter than ours. Tighter limits on sugar, tighter limits on contaminants. Bobby built their formula to meet those standards. USDA Organic, organic lactose as the sole carbohydrate, DHA from organic algal oil, not the hexane-extracted stuff you find in most American formulas. No corn syrup, no palm oil, no maltodextrin. And they earned the Clean Label Project Purity Award. You can find it at Target, Amazon, Walmart, or their website. About $30 a can. When a company builds itself around the question, what would I actually feed my own baby? You notice. Green light, Kendamil. Finally, some good news from across the pond. This formula is made in the UK under European regulations, which, again, are stricter than what the FDA requires. But here's what makes Kendamil special. They use whole milk fat, full cream milk as the primary ingredient. That means your baby gets naturally occurring fats instead of a blend of vegetable oils. No palm oil, organic lactose only, no corn syrup solids, no maltodextrin. And they include HMOs, human milk oligosaccharides, which support gut health. It's been available in the U.S. through an FDA-approved import pathway since 2022. You can grab it at Target or Amazon. About $28 for a bigger can. Best value among the clean options. You can feel good about this one. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Those prices, $30, $36, that's not realistic for every family, and I hear you. So here's what you do. Talk to your pediatrician about WEC-approved options with the cleanest ingredient lists. If your baby is 6 months or older and eating solids, prioritize whole foods alongside whatever formula you can afford. And here's the simplest trick I can give you. Flip the can over. Read the ingredients. If the first carbohydrate listed is lactose, that's better. If it's corn syrup solids, put it back. That one move, reading that one line, puts you ahead of 90% of parents in the store. You don't need the most expensive can. You need the right label. And now you know how to read it. Safe choice. So here's your list. Avoid, Similac Pro Advance, Enfamil Neuro Pro, Gerber Good Start Gentle Pro, Parents Choice Advantage, Similac Alimentum, Enfamil Regulin, Pediasure Grow and Gain, Enfamil A, R, and Similac 360, Total Care Sensitive. 9 formulas. 9 brands you now see differently. Choose instead ByHeart, Bobby, or Kendamil. And if those aren't in your budget, flip the can over, find the ingredient list, and look for one word, lactose. If it says corn syrup solids, put it back. That single move puts you ahead of almost every parent in the store. You now know what most parents will never find out. You know what's hiding behind the smiling babies on the labels. You know which companies publish their test results and which ones bury them. That's not nothing. That's power. Now think about someone. That friend who just announced she's pregnant. Your sister who's due next month. The mom in your neighborhood Facebook group asking which formula to buy. They're standing in that aisle right now, trusting the same labels you used to trust. Send them this video, text it, share it, tag them. We protect our own. Next week, I'm going deep on baby food pouches. Those convenient little squeeze packs your toddler loves. What I found in the lab reports is going to change how you shop. You don't want to miss it. Like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell so it shows up the second it drops. You walked in here worried. You're walking out informed. That's the difference between a scared parent and a dangerous one. Now go be dangerous.